I am going to talk about my... Thanks. Talk about my transition from career to stay-at-home mom. I'm going to start off with a caveat. I am not here to say which is the right answer, to be a stay-at-home mom or to have a career and be a mom with career. They're both wonderful, and you have to find the right season and the right rhythm for your family. So I just want to start out with that as I talk through this, because it's really important to understand that I had a career in healthcare leadership, and I loved it. I worked 50, 60 hours a week, and I had my clicky shoes with my suits, and I had a great team. I had this packed agenda. Y'all know this. They had a different name for it back in the years, but my whole life was on this, like the calendar of Outlook, and I had an admin that kept track of everything, and it was awesome. But then I have these little kids. I have my little people that I had, and life changed. I remember in the middle of the night, you'd hear one get sick, and Kevin and I look at each other like, grab the phone. Who's free to get out? And who's, get out of work, and how we're gonna adjust life. And my baby girl was in daycare 10 hours a day. And that was the type of careers we had. We both had demanding positions. And so things came to a head. Like, it wasn't a sustainable model. I was great at doing my job. I was great at taking care of my kids. I was a lousy spouse because I had given all of those things a lot of energy and not to keeping my family going. And so Kevin and I really prayed about it and thought through, we're entering into a new season, and I need to look at this a little bit different. Our family needs to look at it differently. And so we decided, when Kevin got a position here in Duluth, that I would stay home. And let me tell you, we moved to Duluth in the coldest winter we've had in years, several years back. Yes, you guys remember that? We were in a rental house. We didn't even have our own stuff. And here I am with my little people. I have she's 7 now, and 7 and 5, but they weren't in school. And I had never been home with them full time. And so here I'm looking at my suits, and I'm grabbing my sweatpants, which is kind of a good gig, by the way. There's a benefit to the attire. I've evolved. Kevin is appreciative. I've evolved to jeans now, so we're not in sweatpants every day. He's like, wow, you must have gone out today. You're wearing jeans. I have to tell you my story, though, because I had lost my identity. My identity was my work. I loved the feeling of having my staff and my team and those meetings and all of that. And it took me a while, a lot of tears. And I would actually say, honestly, a year and a half to really get into a rhythm and a lot of prayer, because it was a sin. I was so involved in my career and my life and my stature that I forgot that that's not what God had intended for me. I have a job of caring for my family, and I'm a child of God, and He's gonna have me serve in any capacity. And taking that time to be in a season to be home with my family is awesome. And so it was a little bit of a struggle, and I worked through it, but I call them seasons. Because I don't know how God willing, I have 30 plus years to go of work, and I have no idea how He will use me, if He will use me back in hospital administration, if He will use me in volunteering. I have no idea, but that is a very exciting thing to think about. So, finding contentment in my walk. Just wanted to share with you some things that I have learned as I was trying to redefine myself as a Christian. And the Bible is so helpful. When I am having a struggling day, when the kids are I'm just at my wit's end, because I just don't know how to talk to the little people to understand, why are you having this tantrum? And it's my selfishness, and just really, reading through that and knowing that they don't know words to communicate at 2 on when they're struggling and what that feels like. And so just looking at that Bible and just really understanding what that looks like. I've been humbled with friends who have not had children. And so when I struggle and I think, oh my gosh, I have friends who would love to be in the position of dealing with children that are struggling, because at least I have them, and that is a good reminder. The second thing is I have friends who would love to be home, but for financial reasons are not able to be home, and that is a very humbling thing that I have an opportunity to be home. So that's a good reminder for me to remember that all the time. Things that have also helped me. My husband is amazing. I have to show you. I was going to put this on PowerPoint. It was just too much work. My husband made me business cards, folks, because he knew I was struggling with this stay at home. So and it was cute. It's Carrie Boren, COO of the Boren household, mom to Emma and Caden. And it was just he's like, I love you and I value you. And I want you to know that what you're doing right now is just as important, just because you're not bringing home that paycheck. And how sweet is that? Like he just wanted me to feel supported and loved. So the hardest things for me coming from the corporate world into home world is seeing things like, as awesome as it is LinkedIn. Like I see all my friends that stayed in their careers and they're progressing and doing great. So now I just hit delete. And it's, like I just say, oh, LinkedIn, and some would say, and it's a great tool. It's a wonderful tool. But for me, I don't even know how to upload, I don't even know how to change my career. Domestic diva of engineering, I don't know. I don't even know. So I just hit delete. It's great. I've had family and friends who've struggled. My parents have really struggled with me staying home, even though my mom was a stay-at-home mom. She was a stay-at-home mom, but she's like, you've got an MBA, you had a career, I just kind of hit mute on that. Because you know what? I'm here for my family, I'm here serving God, and it's gonna look different. And they have evolved on that, and my mom says, I get it now. And that's kind of cool to see her walk around and get transition through that. Reminding, I've got 30 plus years, hopefully, God willing. I'm sure there will be no retirement left, so we'll be all working until 80 or 90. So we're good, it'll be great. Volunteering, if you find yourself, whether you're in retirement, you're at home, different stages of life, volunteering is a wonderful way to be the hands and feet of God and to serve. I will put one caveat. I did take some positions in volunteering early on when I first moved here that were not in my gifting. Don't do that. Pick things that are in your gifting. There are things that everyone can do, but they should be part of your gifting, and you should thrive in them and just really enjoy them. And most importantly, permission to be not perfect. I think in all of our jobs, and especially as moms, you're kind of on 24/7, permission to not be perfect all the time. And your house isn't going to be gorgeous and perfect, and everything's not going to be wonderful. Your kids will have tantrums at Target, and you'll have to pick them up and wrangle them out, and that's life, because life is messy. Just being permission to do that and allowing others to not be perfect. And most importantly through this is knowing that my identity got lost in my work and my career, is making sure that my identity doesn't get lost again, and just really sticking into the world. It is so easy to have kids become your identity. You have these little people, and then you're gonna get them in their sports and living your life through them. God gifted them to us to disciple them and to raise them and to be mature, flourishing little human beings. They're not mine forever. And then I'm going to send them off. And so they cannot be my identity as well. My identity is Jesus. And so it's just remembering that. So with that, I thank you very much for your time. I don't even think I got the warning. I'm so good.